Today, we are going over some true creepy encounters, from someone being stalked to a first date gone terribly bad to a hotel break-in, and then someone getting a little lost in the forest and running into something that they did not want to run into. I'm Lou Hawley, and these are all true stories. Buckle up, because these are creepy. I think I'm being stalked. If I've learned anything from reading these stories on Reddit, if you think you're being stalked, there's a good chance you probably are. I've been working at a supermarket close to my home for 4 months now, and 3 weeks ago, while I was manning the register, a guy I've never seen in this area before came to check out. I don't know his name, so I'm gonna call him Carl. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, if I was to have to name some random person that was checking out at a supermarket, Carl seems like a pretty accurate name to use. Carl, Jim, Jeff, yeah, any of those three would work perfectly. Carl had very loud music playing from his headphones, which were around his neck, and I recognized the song. So, trying to be friendly, I started up a conversation while scanning his items. He was slurring a bit while talking, but generally seemed nice, recommended me some other bands, and left. So far so good. I thought nothing of this. He's a 40-ish year old man who was probably just passing by, and I live in a quiet, friendly town. I didn't think I'd ever see him again. I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot of Carl, maybe too much of Carl. I have a feeling that Carl might think that you were trying to be a little bit more than friendly. Carl might be a little strange, a little awkward, a little socially inept, and now Carl might think that you like him, or maybe Carl just really likes you. I don't know, but I know we're going to be seeing more of Carl. I didn't think I'd ever see him again until 30 minutes later. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing a lot of Carl. He walks back into the store with one of those old photo cameras around his neck and keeps standing around the register, facing me while I'm working. Then he grabs some chocolate from the shelves close by and comes to check out. I don't really say anything this time and just scan the chocolate. He's standing there holding his camera at his chest with one hand and angling it directly at me. Then asks for a pack of batteries we keep behind a display. Yeah, dudes that try to take pictures of women without them knowing, that is some of the creepiest behavior I've ever heard of in my entire life. And by reading some of these stories, some of these true stories, it seems like it happens kind of frequently. And I didn't know that was like, I'm gonna be real with you. As a man, I feel uncomfortable reading these stories when women are talking about men secretly taking pictures of them. It's like, I get it if you're a celebrity and you see people like secretly taking pictures of you, because then it's not like it is a creepy way, but it's not as in like the same type of creepy way. It's in like oh, I want to show my friends that I saw, I don't know, Zendaya out at the airport or something. But like when you're just some random lady, some random girl working behind a cash register and some man is taking pictures of you, like what? The intentions behind those secret pictures is so much darker and creepier and more disturbing than like, I guess, paparazzi or some random person secretly taking a picture of some celebrity. I don't get it, and it is so gross. He's standing there holding his camera at his chest with one hand and angling it directly at me, then asks for a pack of batteries we keep behind a display. So I go over to the display. He follows me and continues angling the camera at me while I'm down under the glass trying to get his batteries. I think it's fair to say, sir, just please don't take pictures of me. I don't feel comfortable with that. And then just see what he does with that hand that is holding and angling that camera. I think that's a fair request. Or if you wanted to, I guess you could make it much more awkward and be like, sir, are you taking pictures of me? See what his reaction would be then. I go back, scan the batteries, and he insists I keep the chocolate? Bro, what? This guy might have a mental condition. I'm being honest. He might have a mental condition. He comes up here, he purchases chocolate, and then he tells you that you can keep the chocolate. Is that like some type of gift? Some weird gift? Does he think you're on a date now? I don't know what's going, but I think this guy might have a mental condition. He insists I keep the chocolate, no matter how much I decline and say I'm not allowed to accept gifts. I am, but he doesn't need to know that. He just leaves the chocolate on the conveyor and walks out. Just so we're on the same page here, this is in fact the chocolate that he literally just purchased from you before he mentioned that he also needed help getting some batteries. What a strange move, my brother. What a strange move indeed. You know, I've heard of some strange moves before. You've seen it in movies, like someone will accidentally, bump into you. Oh, I've dropped my bag. Now we both have to bend over and pick up all the stuff that's in my bag. Like, oh, now we lock eyes. Like, that's a slick move, if you're in the movies at least. Buying a piece of chocolate and then gifting that chocolate to the lady that you are infatuated with that in fact works at that cash register. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that move. I don't think that's such a slick move. I don't think that's gonna get her where you want her. Nah. I'm ranking that one like a 1.2 out of 10. The next day, he does the same thing. Buys me chocolate, insists I keep it, leaves. And then the next day, too. Neither of those days did I really reply to him or try to spark conversation because at that point I felt unsafe and honestly a little insane. I told my coworkers and my mom about it. I'm 19 and still living with her, and they all told me I should be flattered. Nah, I think you need some new coworkers and maybe even a new mother. No. Bro is 40 years old, coming into the store every single day and buying you chocolate. I wouldn't be flattered. No, I'd be creeped out. No, you need new coworkers and you need a new mother. I had 2 days off after this and stayed home crocheting and playing video games. Honestly, a 19-year-old staying home to crochet is crazy to me. What? You must be like the most wholesome girl ever born in the history of humanity. Oh my God, what a wholesome hobby for a 19-year-old. When I was 19 years old and I had a day off of like going to school or working or anything like that, I think my entire day just consisted of getting as drunk as possible and then finding some type of insane social gathering at that night. Raves, house parties, I don't know, wherever the most drugs were. And now I'm not advocating for that at all. Your hobby is much better than mine, but just like, wow. Oh. You make me want to be a better person. I had 2 days off after this and stayed home crocheting and playing video games. When I went back to work, he showed up again, this time with his phone. He bought a ton of stuff and then shoved his phone in my face, like he was trying to hand it to me. I'm confused and asked why he's giving me his phone, and he replies that he wants to leave it there to charge. I feel kind of bad. I feel like this person has a mental condition. I feel like this is the type of person that is usually out in like a grocery store or in a social setting with a chaperone. I feel like this person is not supposed to be out there alone. But either way, what you do is you 100% say that you're not allowed to do that. No, I'm not leaving my phone here. That's bad. That's bad news bears. I don't know what come from holding on to this creepy man's phone, but it's nothing good. I promise you that nothing good comes from that phone. This creepy man's phone who's been buying you chocolate for the past few days. Nothing good comes from that man's phone being around you for long periods of time. No bueno. You say, sir, I appreciate the chocolates. Sir, I appreciate how nice you are. Sir, I appreciate you taking secret photos of me when I'm not looking. But this is where this ends. This is where our relationship comes to its final resting place. I will not hold on to your phone. Goodbye. You know, as a matter of fact, there's other people here that work and they also man these cash registers. And I think it's time you go say hi to one of them. Peace. He replies that he wants to leave it there to charge. I said we can't do that, but he's free to buy a charger from the store and charge it somewhere else. He keeps insisting and almost starts yelling over it. Yeah, no, peace, sayonara, I'm getting the manager. I will not be scolded in the grocery store by some creepy man trying to hand me his phone after he's been taking secret pictures of me and buying me chocolate for the past few days, who's twice my age. No. It's manager time. And hopefully your manager is not one of those people that was saying you should be flattered by this 40-something-year-old man buying you frickin' chocolates. I call over my okay, good. Yep, see? That's what I said. A good job. I'm actually very proud of this girl. Thank you. I call over my manager, who tells him to leave and then stays at the register for a few minutes to give me a second to breathe and go drink some water. Honestly, this seems like a pretty good manager. I've read some freaking horror stories, reading all these Reddit stories, some horror stories of managers that do not care about the people that work under them. This manager at least seems to care. The next day, I'm working again. He stops by, doesn't say anything to me, and walks out. Soon after, a local comes to the register and says some guy in his 40s is hanging out back and asks if he's meant to be there. I ask them to describe him, and it's the same guy. It's Carl. But also, like, who notices a guy hanging out around a grocery store and, like, reports him? This must be a really small town. I think that the OP did actually mention that she lives in a small, quiet town. I'm gonna say I live in downtown Nashville, and every single grocery store, every single gas station, every single store in general has at least 3 or 4 freaking 40-year-olds just hanging out all day, every day. Yeah, that would never get brought up in conversation to the person working the cash register. Never. I tell my manager that at this point, I'm legitimately scared. And she again tells me it's probably nothing and he's just some hobo with nothing better to do. Then I have 4 days off. On my 3rd day off, I go out to walk my dog. Oh, please do not tell me that Carl found out where you lived and he's about to be watching you while you're out walking your dog on a day off. Oh no, I just got the chills putting myself in your situation and thinking about it. If that's the case, I think it's time Carl met the popo. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's about time Carl met the popo. The popo had been called for less, especially in quiet, nice, friendly small towns. The police have nothing better to do, so like, yeah, you better call them and just like give them some entertainment at this point. On my 3rd day off, I go out to walk my dog. I'm only around my apartment building. I don't go further than that little cluster of buildings in my area that nobody has any business being in unless they live there or are visiting someone. And I see him. Yep, time for that friendly neighborhood call to your local popo. Like, this also makes me think, like, how did he find where you lived? How is that even possible? Does Carl have a car? Did he follow you after you left to go home? Did he somehow, like, put a tracker into your backpack, into your pants, into your clothing or something? Did he put a tracker in the chocolate? Oh, imagine someone's like tracking your chocolate. That's crazy. That is sinister. That is mean. I will say that people putting trackers like on your car is actually a real thing. At least it used to be real, but now I believe that your iPhone, your smartphone will alert you if someone, or if there is a, like a, oh my God, what are those things called? An Apple AirTag. If there is one of those things that has been like found to be like following you around. Yeah, it'll alert you. Like, my girlfriend put an Apple tag on my dog, and when she first put it on there, it was, I think, my Apple phone, my iPhone. Why am I unable to say iPhone? Or it alerted me that there was like an AirTag that had been like tracked or following my location for a while, and I had to like say it was okay because it was like one that I was aware of. But either way, that is something you should always be aware of, especially as a woman. That shit is creepy as hell, and it is real. And I see him. I see Carl standing around with the children at the playground in the middle of these houses. Oh, police now. Police need to be there in less than 5 freaking minutes. Or Spider-Man or Batman, freaking Hulk for all I care in this matter. Get someone over there to take care of Carl. I also don't think the name Carl does this man justice anymore. Carl is too much of a basic name, like a basic standard, not anything super creepy or egregious about him type name. This man needs to be named like Ted or Jeffrey. This sounds like a Jeffrey to me. Yeah, I'm thinking either Ted or Jeffrey or like maybe a Ronald or a Donald. No, scratch that. Didn't mean to make this political. This man just needs to be named Jeffrey now. Oh God, this is so creepy. I see Carl standing around with the children at the playground in the middle of these houses. I immediately go to visit my neighbor, who's also my mom's friend, instead of going home because I don't want him to know exactly where I live if he didn't already. Yo, honestly, y'all know if you watch a lot of these videos that look, I always say, this person's got the survival instincts of a freaking panda bear. No, this OP does not have the survival instincts of a panda bear. This OP has real survival instincts. She knew something was up with Carl immediately. She did not go home immediately because she does not want Carl to think that she lives where she does in fact live. She wants Carl to think that she in fact lives at her neighbor's house, so her neighbor can deal with the repercussions and consequences of this creepy, insane, freaking knowing or thinking that is the house that Carl in fact wants to be in. God, this guy's creepy. She tells me to call the non-emergency line. So I do. Actually, that's a good call. That's a good call. Because if they, in fact, do deem it to be an emergency or something that's worthy of them investigating or checking out immediately, they'll pass it on and have cops come out. Yeah, that's brilliant. Honestly, bravo. Good work, team. So I do. And they essentially tell me that I don't really have proof and they can't do anything, kind of implying that unless I actually get hurt, he's just some random regular guy and I'm being paranoid. Yeah, I changed my mind. I said it was a good call to call it the non-emergency line, but I take it back, and I'm going to tell you why I take it back. About a year ago, me and my girlfriend were driving back from my hometown of Louisville to where I now live in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was pouring rain. It was like 2 a.m. and there was a truck behind us. I was driving and there was a truck behind us. Now, mind you, it is pouring rain to the point where people have like their emergency blinkers on and everything. It is terrifying. You can't see shit. And it's basically just my car out there and a ton of semis. That's it. It's 2 a.m. And then a pickup truck comes up behind us. And we're in the fast lane, yes, mind you, but we're going like the speed limit when everyone else is going below the speed limit with their blinkers on because you can't see shit. And this pickup truck comes behind us, starts riding my ass right behind me, and then starts blaring their brights. So I can't see anything already because it is pouring rain, right? And then I can't see anything, especially now because this asshole behind me in this big old pickup truck is blaring his brights in my freaking mirrors, obviously telling me to get out this way. But like, dude, chill. I'm going a little over the speed limit in the pouring rain when everyone else has their blinkers on. So what do? I pass up the semi that's here, right? The semi is here, right here, so I can't get over immediately. But I speed up a little bit more, I eventually get past the semi, and then I merge over to the other lane. This guy turns off his brights, obviously, he starts flying past me, and what do? I give him this, right? Because like, that's an asshole move, right? You're about to cause me to wreck in the pouring rain. That's an asshole move. I do this. What does he do? He pulls out in front of me and slams on his brakes when there is a semi behind me in the pouring freaking rain. I guess this guy had I had a little bit of road rage, right? Which is why I gave him the finger. This guy had mega road rage because he was trying to get me killed. So that's what he does. That's insane, right? So I have to slam on my brakes. The semi behind me slams on their brakes. We all come to a dead stop, right? And so then I pull around him and start just driving off. I'm like, I gotta get the hell away from this guy. What the hell? This guy almost just got me freaking killed, right? So I pull away. The guy pulls up right next to me. And once again, and then he rolls down his windows. And I roll down mine. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, pull the fuck over, bitch. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm not going to do that. And it's just like some probably 38-year-old hillbilly looking guy in a big old pickup truck. And I was like, nah, fuck you, bro. Give him the finger again. This dude whips out a gun and points the gun at me. So my girlfriend calls the non-emergency line, reports his license plate number, says that he did all this stuff, literally almost got us killed, road raging, almost got us smashed by a freaking semi, then pulled out a gun. And they're like, okay, thanks, we'll make note of it. I'm like, that's all you're going to do? That's all you're going to do? You're gonna make a note of it. You're gonna put that in your little system as a note. Wow, thank you so much for keeping us all safe. So I take back everything I freaking said. Calling the non-emergency line in this situation is a terrible idea because they never do anything. They never do anything. I bet they did the exact same thing here that they did for me when I almost got freaking shot on the street or killed by a freaking semi because of one person. We're gonna make a little note of it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And they essentially tell me that I don't really have proof and they can't do anything, kind of implying that unless I actually get hurt, he's just some random regular guy and I'm being paranoid. And now I've been called in sick from work for a week because I'm terrified of showing up and him being there, following me home, maybe already knowing where I live or breaking in while I'm gone. I don't know. I feel like you should still be going to work. I feel like that's not a good enough reason to go into work. I feel like you need to go into work and then just be somewhat vigilant of this creepy Carl man. Yeah. You can't let his actions so far, and I emphasize so far, you can't let his actions so far completely change the way that you are living your life. I understand why you'd be a little bit paranoid, but I feel like that is a little unwarranted. You should still be going into work. And then also by going into work, if he continues to do weird stuff, then the police will have more of a reason to actually take action. Not trying to say you should be like bait or anything, but I think that you should be going into work. Let me know if you disagree, but that's what I would say. Everyone around me is saying I'm anxious or that I have no proof he took photos of me, but you don't angle your camera at people like that casually. He was very poorly hiding the fact that he was taking photos of me. He had no business being around my house. He had no business buying me so many chocolates. Imagine trying to tell the cops that though. Like, what is your complaint against this man? How do you know that he is creeping on you and stalking you? Well, sir, he bought me chocolates 3 days in a row. Like, I understand why this guy would be making you feel uncomfortable, but I do feel like you're being a little too much right now, a little too anxious about it. I feel like you have to continue living your life. And if something else happens, then I think you have a reason to be concerned. But as of right now, it's strange, but it's not to that level of strange, in my opinion. And he had no business getting aggressive with me over not being able to leave his phone at my workplace to charge. I feel crazy for thinking I'm being stalked. I was even told by a family member that I'm not hot enough to be stalked, which is just insane. Who are you surrounded by, girl? Like, who are your family members? Not hot enough to be stalked is crazy. Like, I hate to break it to you, whoever this family member is, you're a little empty-headed. Like, you don't have to be a Victoria's Secret model to be stalked. That's not necessarily what causes stalking. I don't have words for that. I don't have a way to respond to that because that's just nonsensical. That is just coming from someone who's like, I mean, in the nicest way possible, whose brain does not work. I don't know. I just need to be told I'm not actually crazy, and this does sound like stalking. Before we get into the comments, I'm gonna revert back to what I just said. In my opinion, and now look, this is coming from a 30-year-old man, right? So obviously I'm gonna have a different perspective on all of this than you will as a 19-year-old girl. I don't think this is stalking yet. I think that this is some guy with some type of serious mental condition who is clearly not socially aware at all, and so is doing very strange things at your place of work. I have no idea why he was at the playground at your place. I really don't. That is very strange. But I feel like after everything that's happened, it's right on the edge of being a serious issue. And once again, this is coming from me, a 30-year-old man, so I have a completely different perspective on all of it. This is right before the level of being something to be taken very seriously. I think if one more thing happens that is directly related to you as an individual, not him just being weird at the store doing something with someone else, but if something else happens with him directly connected to you, then I would say it'd be hard to argue that he is not targeting you. But as of right now, I feel like you have to continue living your life. You can't let what he's doing stop you from working, stop you from walking your dog, stop you from doing anything else. But if you notice one more weird thing that is directly targeting you, get the police involved. Don't call the non-emergency line. Call the emergency line and be like, yeah, this guy's stalking me. I need to take legal action. Bada bing, bada boom. That's my 2 cents at least. But like I said, 30-year-old man, you're a 19-year-old girl, completely different perspectives, and I respect that. Let's see what the comments say. Your mom said the exact wrong thing. You should not be flattered. You are right to be worried. If you drive, ask your manager for someone to walk you to your car. Start taking different routes home. If you use public transportation, get off a stop or two early or late. If you ever catch this man following you, go directly to police station. The other commenter is correct. Have your manager ban this person from the store. Actually, I think that's a great comment. Because, like I said, I don't want to use you as bait, but by doing all those things, you do kind of keep yourself a lot safer, while at the same time, keeping an eye on this guy to see if he is actually doing anything that is targeting you. And if he is, like this guy said in the comments, go directly to the police again with actual evidence of reason to believe you are being stalked or this guy is a threat to you. Yeah, great comment. Yes, as a father of daughters, I was appalled by your mom. Trust your instincts. Call the cops, contact HR, and create a paper trail. Eventually, some authority will come to their senses and ban him from the store or arrest him. Always trust your instincts. Guys, this is important. Always trust your instincts. If your gut is telling you something, your gut is often correct. Trust your instincts, trust your gut. Yes. Another great comment. The world is effing terrible, so better to be safe. The world is dangerous. The world is cruel. It is better to be safe. You have to watch out for yourself, and you have to trust your gut. You have to trust your instincts. If you feel like something is wrong, if you feel like this man means you harm, then, I mean, as this person said, it is better safe then sorry. I hope this is all cleared up for you. I hope Carl has left you alone, and I really hope Carl has not been spotted at any more children's playgrounds, because creepy ass Carl, CAC, creepy ass Carl, Jeffrey. Hotel stay in Louisiana. I'm literally drinking coffee right now out of a mug that I got in New Orleans. Oh my God, focus. New Orleans. I will start by saying this is 100% true. Well, I would hope so. Every single story in this thread is supposed to be 100% true. I was a 24-year-old male working in the oil fields and was called out to Shreveport, Louisiana for a job. They put me in a hotel near the horse racing track and casino in Bossier City. Bossier. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't arrive until late, so the hotel was empty, and it took a while to get the attendant to realize I was there. I had stayed at this hotel before, but something this night felt weird. After unpacking in my room, I set up my PlayStation for gaming, not knowing when I would get the official call to head out to my rig site. It was around 1 a.m. at this time. Hey, bringing your game console, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it is, to a hotel is righteous work. I respect that, my brother. All of a sudden, I heard someone swipe a key on my door, then push the door open. I had the safety latch pushed over, and the door created a loud boom when it hit the latch. I immediately yelled out, "Someone is in here." Instead of an apology, he closed the door and attempted again. For a second time, the door slammed into the safety latch, and I yelled out again, "Hey, someone is in here." Oh, that is so creepy, because it's not like they opened it and they're like, oh, wait, what's going on here? They tried to open it a second time without saying a single thing to you. I wonder, like, did they double book the hotel room and they accidentally gave the key to another person who was trying to get in? But I feel like if that were the case, the person would have opened it and be like, oh, my bad, I was given the key. They would at least try to say something to you, like through the crack in the door, right? Oh, I don't know. But if it's that late at 1 a.m., not that many people are arriving at 1 a.m., right? Oh, I don't know. That's creepy. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Whoever this was attempted opening my door 5 to 6 times while I am obviously yelling that I'm inside. The only time I saw him was his hand trying to fit into the crack of the door enough to reach the safety latch. That is so fucking strange. That is so gross. Like, what? What kind of creepy shit is that? The person tries to open the door 5 or 6 times. The person fails to get into the door 5 or 6 times. You tell the person you are in there 5 or 6 times. The person then continues to reach in there to try to unlatch the safety latch. Oh, hell no. Bro, I hope you're traveling with a knife or something at all times. That's so creepy. That is so gross. That makes me terrified for not only men, because you're a man and you were experiencing this, but like, imagine being a woman in that position and then forgetting to latch the safety latch. That man, whoever it was that was trying to get in, would have in fact been in. God knows what would have happened. Guys, this is your lesson right here. This is your warning. When you are traveling and you are staying in a hotel room at night, go ahead and do yourself a favor and just like close the safety latch. Put on that extra layer of security. And this is honestly me talking to myself when I say this, because I never do this. I've tried to start being more aware and doing it more recently when I've been going to sleep, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't done it my entire life. I've stayed at the shadiest, the seediest motels. I've stayed at some creepy places, and I've just never done it. It's bad. I stayed at a hotel in Boston like 2 years ago where there was literally a murder that happened that night that I was staying there. And still my dumbass doesn't put the safety latch on. Thankfully, when I'm staying with my girlfriend, she's usually at least pretty decent about trying to do that. But me, nah, I'm an idiot. I genuinely believe I would have been fighting for my life if this person found their way in. I obviously made myself known. It's 1 a.m. in a sketchy part of town, and why reach your hand into the door after all of this? Always use the safety latch at a hotel. It potentially saved my life. Look, part of the reason that I enjoy reading these true, scary stories is not only because it is entertaining, and I find a lot of them to be well written, and just like, honestly, I just appreciate the OP sharing this stuff, but honestly, because we can learn so much from it. Last week, I did an entire episode on creepy stories that like women had experienced with men, and there were so many valuable takeaways for every single woman that watched or read these stories. to walk away with, of how to make sure they take better care of themselves if they ever find themselves in any type of similar situation. This is part of the reason that I love these true Reddit horror stories, because we do in fact get to learn so much. And I know a lot of you are going to be sitting there thinking like, oh, Lou, I didn't learn anything. I always put that safety latch on. What kind of moron doesn't do that? A lot of people. I promise you, a lot of freaking people. I would say that 90% of my ex-girlfriends did not lock that safety latch. I never locked that safety latch, okay? But now, everyone watching this video, moving forward, what are we all gonna do? We're gonna lock that safety latch. Let's see some of these comments. I would definitely tell your employer not to use that hotel if possible. Yeah, that's fair. But what if it was your employer or someone else working for your employer that was sent to take care of you for some type of reason? Are you trying to sue your employer? Are you trying to steal money from are you doing something? Are you up to something? Okay, that's something you never really went over in the story. Are you doing anything interesting that would in fact cause someone to want to maybe find you alone in a hotel room at 1 a.m.? I'm just asking the questions here, okay? That's it. In addition to my OG posting, when he stopped making an attempt at the door, I immediately picked up the hotel phone and they didn't answer for at least 2 minutes. I asked if she had given someone the wrong key and she said no. She was very standoffish on the phone, almost rude. Thinking over this, I believe the hotel staff could have had something to do with it. How did he have a key that worked on my room? They knew I was a contractor working out of state, potentially carrying expensive equipment. My company used their business account to book the room. You're thinking that the hotel staff was a part of this. It was all a setup. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. Oh, that's creepy. It gave me the chills. Oh, that's so creepy. You, sir, you in fact do not have the survival instincts of a panda bear. You put that latch on. You in fact have the survival instincts of, what's an animal that is good at surviving? Of a cockroach. And I mean that as a compliment. Wait, do cockroaches have good survival instincts or do they just not die? Someone please clarify for me in the comments. This happened 8 years ago and I still think about it every single day. I was 18 when this happened. It still makes me shiver when I think about it, which is every single day. I genuinely think I avoided something very bad happening to me. As I always say, if your gut is telling you something, if your instincts are telling you something, it's probably true. I live in a very mountainous and heavily forested part of the world. There are lots of forestry roads which are also used for recreation. I used to have an off-roading vehicle and would go everywhere in it with friends and on my own, camping or just exploring for the day. One particular day, I set off by myself to a place I had been quite a few times. It was close by to where I was living at the time, and it had lots of beautiful spots to pull off and walk down to the river or waterfall. I just wanted to go have a nice peaceful day on my own. Now, if I've learned anything, it's that usually when you're trying to find a nice peaceful day on your own, away from everyone else, with some beautiful scenery, that's when you end up killed. It's unfortunate, but it's true. It's like every single time I ever found a peaceful location that was just away from everyone and like I started to relax for a little bit, here comes some freaking creepy serial, like Ted Bundy type figure or some crazy cracked out homeless guy. Every single time. I was about halfway down the road and I had the urge to pee so badly. Been there, sister. Been there. By the way, I just checked to see if this was a girl or a boy, seeing if like I missed something at the beginning of the thread that clarified. This OP's name is Fat Girl Wonders. I love that name. One of my favorite Reddit usernames I've ever seen. I was about halfway down the road and I had the urge to pee so badly. Normally, I can hold it forever, but I knew that I couldn't in this instance. I pulled over next to a small hill, like when the edge of the roads are higher, and I climbed up and over and went to pee quickly. I had looked around while I was walking in there and didn't notice anything. This was also a long stretch of the road that didn't have any pull-offs or camping spots, so there shouldn't be anyone else there. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that there is in fact someone else there hiding out in your little pee cave. And honestly, I'm gotta be real with you, I have to pee so bad right now too, so I'm like living with you through this experience right now. I pulled my pants down and squatted down, the worst part of being an outdoorsy female, and that's when I saw him. In my peripheral vision, I could see a person They were not very far from me, maybe 30 feet, walking straight towards me. Quickly, the hairs on my body stood up, and the second I saw movement in my vision, I didn't even turn to look. I stood up and started pulling my pants up while I took off running. Oh my god, this girl was doing the full like running with like your pants around your ankles still, like we've seen in all the movies, like we've seen in the cartoons. Oh god, that's nightmare material. I turned my head slightly to look, and he was still coming towards me super fast, like creepy ass brisk walking. I didn't look at him long enough to notice anything about him, but could tell he was a male, dressed in all dark clothing. I didn't want to turn around fully to look and slow myself down. I got over the top and ran directly into my Jeep, started it, and gassed it before my door was even closed. I turned around not far down the road as I wanted to immediately get the hell out of there, and it was not a through road to anywhere. I looked around the area I pulled over at when I was driving back through and noticed nothing, but felt incredibly off. What if it wasn't a human? What if it wasn't a human? I mean, like, are you far away from anywhere? Like, how is this person surviving out there? Are they just like surviving off of squirrels and stuff? Or did you stumble across like Bigfoot or some type of like demonic spiritual forest entity that you confused with a human because it was shaped as a human? Yeah, I don't know. That's creepy. Oh god. Just being alone in a forest just always gives me the heebie-jeebies. Whether you're running into another human out there, some type of just like untamed animal that just like, you know, might be a little hungry that day, or just like, you know, the weird things that can happen to you, like you fall into something and you're unable to get up and help yourself. A lot can happen when you're out there in the woods all alone. Dun dun dun. I still wonder to this day if I avoided something terrible happening to me. Why else would someone be approaching you so directly and not even announce themselves or anything? Yeah, that's true, actually. If I was some random dude just chilling out there in the forest alone and some girl walked up and like started peeing, I'd be like, oh, hey, like, yeah, I know it's weird that I'm out here, but I'm here. Just want to let you know before you start taking care of your business. Yep, just trying to be, you know, a normal human being. Yeah, hi. Yeah, it's very creepy. They would just start walking towards you without saying anything. I think about the fact that I couldn't hear him coming either when it was an area that had leaves and twigs on the ground. It is genuinely the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me. I haven't had many creepy encounters, luckily, although almost all of them have been outdoors in remote places. This one took the cake. Yeah. That's also creepy that you couldn't hear this person approaching you, even though that there's a lot of twigs and leaves on the ground. Makes me think that once again, maybe this wasn't a person at all. Ooh, I just got the chills. Oh, let's peep some of the comments. Every person I know, male or female, that has good intentions announces their presence, usually apologetically, in an awkward setting like this. From one outdoor girly to another, carry a gun. Also, good on you for remembering the power of your car. People need to remember it's a literal weapon if need be. Yeah, that's very true. And it's a great point as well, that if someone does have good intentions, not even good intentions, if someone does not have ill intentions, bad intentions, they're going to make their presence known. Like I said, hey, over here. I know it's weird. I'm out here in this creepy little forest, but like before you start peeing, I am in fact here. Hi. The OP Fat Girl Wonders, great username once again, responded by saying, yeah, that was definitely what set off my gut instincts. So strange to just say nothing at all when directly approaching someone that you think can't see you. I'm Canadian, so guns aren't really an option for me. I do carry a different form of protection with me now, though. I would have straight ran his ass over if it came down to it, though. What do Canadians carry for protection? I'm an American. I live in Tennessee. People here carry guns and knives. Yeah, I have a machete in my room. Oh my gosh. I'm just glad that you're safe. Honestly, that's a very strange and creepy and unsettling encounter. I'm happy that you're safe. Once again, if someone does not announce their presence to you, that usually means their intentions are not good. In a creepy place like this, when you're not expecting someone to be around you, if their presence is not announced, get the hell out of there. Am I over exaggerating? So I, a 22-year-old male, went to hang out with this 21-year-old female woman. Thank you for double clarifying that. She picked me up after work and we went back to her place. It was fine at first, but she barely talked the whole time we were watching a YouTube video. So let me understand this correctly. You, a 22-year-old male, went to hang out with a 21-year-old female. She picked you up after work. You went back to her place and y'all were watching a YouTube video, and you were concerned because she wasn't talking while watching a YouTube video. I'm confused at so many things right now. I'm hopeful that this story clears it up. It was fine at first, but she barely talked the whole time we were watching a YouTube video. Then, halfway through, she just got up and went outside to call someone. She stayed out there for hours in the middle of the night during this crazy dust and a lightning storm. Okay, I have a few questions really quick right off the bat. Yeah, you should immediately be concerned either for her or for yourself. No one is staying outside to talk to someone in the middle of a storm in the middle of the night for a good reason. Either she's in trouble or you're in trouble. And depending on what comes next will help me clarify which one that is. But yeah, you should be concerned. Out of nowhere, I got this intense feeling of impending doom, like a deep dread in my gut. I texted my roommate to come get me and waited the 35 minutes it takes him to drive over. When I saw headlights, I felt relieved until I realized it was her friends, a couple. Instant panic. I felt sick to my stomach. Wait. Did she feel uncomfortable around you? Did you do something to make her feel uncomfortable, like immediately once you got to her place, and so she wanted to be outside away from you in the middle of a storm? Bro, what did you do? Or are you part of like a rival crew and she was setting you up? It has to be one of those two things. Oh my God. I had to wait another hour for my friend. Her dog, who's supposedly a man-hater, but somehow liked me, was growling hard at the boyfriend. That told me my gut was right. Dogs can sense when people are off. The whole time, it felt like that heavy spirit pressure from Bleach. Just pure dread. Bro, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What? Were you aware that other people were coming over? Did she call for other people to come over because you made her feel uncomfortable? What is happening here? You're using a whole bunch of descriptive words to describe how you are feeling, but you're not at all describing anything else, like maybe potentially how she's feeling. I don't know. At this point right now, the OP is making me feel a little uncomfortable. Yeah, strange. Bad vibes, bro. Bad vibes. They were acting weird as hell. At one point, I saw what looked like a handgun box in her hands when she walked into the kitchen. That's when I was fully convinced I was about to get murdered, robbed, or worse. The two girls positioned themselves behind me, one sitting at the table, one standing, while the guy sat right next to me on the couch. I genuinely thought that was it. Yeah, like I said, bro, this has to be one of two things. Either you made her feel wildly uncomfortable, so she called people to come over so she felt less uncomfortable, or you're part of a like rival gang that she's affiliated with and she's setting you up. And also, did you never ask her why she spent 2 hours outside in the middle of the night in the middle of a storm while you were just inside her place alone? Like, I feel like you could have approached this and handled this a little better too, bro. I started praying, covering myself in Psalm 91, asking God to get me out of there. Right after that, my friend finally showed up. I jumped up, said it was nice meeting them, made up some excuse about work, and got the hell out. Dating is not for me, man. I don't know how women deal with all the crazy, dangerous dudes out here. Am I crazy for thinking I was gonna die? I'm so confused. Remember, this OP is the man, right? The 22-year-old man. He says dating is not for me, man. I don't know how women deal with all the crazy, dangerous dudes out there. I'm gonna be honest with you, it sounds to me as though you might have been the crazy, dangerous dude out there and she was trying to protect herself. Either that or you are part of a rival crew and she was trying to have you set up. I don't understand what this has to do with dangerous dudes unless you are the dangerous dude. What the hell, bro? Let's see what some of these comments say. I think the rule for not meeting a first date at their own home by yourself should apply to all genders. You never know exactly who you're meeting up with. Glad you got out of there unscathed. Honestly, her even inviting a man over to her place as a first date was a red flag. Women know not to do that. Then he knows where you live. That is so true too. Like, wait, what? She picked you up from work and you immediately just went to her crib. That is such a red flag for so many different reasons. Yeah, you're gonna get killed, beat up, or like contract some like deadly disease another way. Either way, sounds like an unhealthy thing to do. Sorry, what? You were on a first date and sat in her home alone watching movies for hours while she was outside in a dust storm ignoring you for hours? That's what I'm saying. That's freaking insane by itself. On today's episode of Can We Take a Hint? Yes. My God, like I said, I think that you were the creepy, strange person. I'm thinking that you made her feel incredibly uncomfortable. She then left her own place to go stand outside in a storm in the middle of the night for hours. When you didn't leave, she had her friends come over to make you feel uncomfortable and leave. Like, I feel like the hint was given pretty strongly and you didn't pick up on it, and you were actually, in fact, the person thinking that she was making you feel uncomfortable when it was the other way around. Bro, it was like an hour and a half. I didn't have the money for an Uber and she picked me up. I'm just rattled by this entire situation. Yeah, I think everyone in the situation was uncomfortable, and just all capital letters. Uncomfortable. Maybe this girl was just trying to be nice and get you to leave without her actually telling you that you made her feel uncomfortable and that she wants you to leave. That's the only reason I could think of that she wouldn't have just said something, or the guy that came over once she felt safe and secure once another guy was over there, why that guy didn't tell you to piss off and why he was just sitting next to you. Ooh, intimidation tactics, him sitting next to you. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, she was giving you the hint that she wanted you to leave, bro. You're not overreacting. Besides all the other odd stuff with her friends, it's just so strange that she abandoned you for so long and then invited people over. Something wasn't right. If she felt uncomfortable on the date, she could have ended it early. I wonder what they were up to. Yeah, I mean, either she was up to something nefarious or she was, in fact, just trying to make you take the hint, which you clearly didn't. And she didn't want to just be mean, I guess, by telling you to kick rocks. Yeah, those are the only two options. Either she was up to something, or you creeped her out and she wanted you to leave, but was trying to be nice and not tell you to leave because you creeped her out. God, either way, I'm uncomfortable. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. Take care of yourself. Always be safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.